Hey guys, this week's podcast guest is Marco Sciortino from Marco's on Niagara Street. Marco came down, talked about his start in the culinary world, cooking Italian food, and his future deli plans. Let's get to it.
How did your start in the culinary world begin? I know that you opened your restaurant at a pretty young age, but I'm assuming you worked in restaurants before that. Just didn't open a restaurant on a whim.
Well, yeah, I know. You kind of you hope I didn't. I was 16. Yeah, I was 16, junior in high school, and my mother asked me, "What do you want to be? What do you want to do when you grow up?" And I said, "You know what I want to do? I want to be in collision."
Okay.
I really like working with my hands. I really like to work on cars. This is what I want to do. I want to be in collision.
Yeah.
And I bought my first car when I was 16 years old. Nice. And it was a Jeep, and I started doing the body work on it, and I didn't like how dirty my hands got. And I just was like, geez, I said I was going to be in the collision work, and I just can't have my hands dirty all the time. So one Saturday morning, I was cooking pancakes, and I spilled the batter down the side. I made a huge mess, and I told my mother, I said, "You know what, Mom? I'm going to be a chef one day. That's what I'm going to do." And she said, "You're going to be a chef? You just made a mess out of my kitchen making pancakes, and then you want to be in the restaurant business? You want to be a chef?" I said, "Absolutely, I'm going to be a chef."
Yeah.
And I kind of took it from there. I started playing around, just real minor things, nothing crazy. And I took a liking to cooking.
Yeah.
I went to ECC North when I graduated from high school.
Okay.
In 1985, the day after I graduated from high school, I started at Jim's Steakout.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, in Elmwood, the original location. And I started as a delivery boy. My first job was slicing tomatoes.
Nice.
And from there, I just wanted to play. I just wanted to play in the kitchen. I liked food. I liked stress. I liked the busyness. I liked the people. I like seeing people's faces when they eat my food and go, "Oh my God, that was amazing."
Yeah.
That's the biggest payoff. You know, when I was 20 years old, I had the opportunity of buying a building on Niagara Street, and I said, "I got to take it."
Wow.
You know, so at 20 years old, I took a risk. I bought a building. I said, "I'm going to open a restaurant." October 12th, I turned 21, and I opened November 1st, 1988. I was too young to open up before that, so I couldn't get my liquor license. But that's my original story. That's how I got in the restaurant business.
So, I mean, oh, wow. So, I mean, growing up was like, I'm assuming in an Italian family, like food was a very big part of.
Food's always a big part, you know. There's food in my car right now. But no, food. You know, food was always a big part of my family, and I know my parents and my mother's going to listen to this, and I'm going to get in trouble again because I did this one time on a radio show, and I said my mother couldn't cook. It's a lie. My mother can cook. She's a great cook, but she's a good American cook, and she's the baker of the restaurant, so she's the baker end of it.
Okay.
Me, if you ask me to bake, forget about it. Box cupcakes all the way. I can't do it. But she's the baker. She makes good meat and potatoes, and I always tell her that because she's not the Italian cook, and I know she's going to kick me when she listens to this podcast. But my grandmother and my great grandmother were really strong Italian cooks.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know if I learned from them.
Yeah.
But somewhere in my soul and in my being, I have their techniques and what they do.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what I think motivates me, carries me out, and says this is how I'm going to cook.
Yeah. When you decided to open up a restaurant, was there ever any thought of what type of restaurant it was going to be, or was it like there's no question it was going to be Italian?
You know, no question it was going to be Italian, but my brain is continuously flowing, and I'm constantly coming up with new ideas, and I constantly have concepts sitting on my desk and on my wall, and I keep looking at them, but I always go back to what I know, and Italian is what I know, and traditional is what I know, and that's where we're at.
Yeah.
But throughout the years, I mean, we've done a vast majority of different dishes, different ethnic groups, I love to cook Chinese. I love to cook Spanish. I get into that stuff. It's neat. It's just a little variation of Italian if you really consider it, really look back at it, you know. But when I was in college, I did a project, and I looked back at it probably 10 years ago. I found it in my paperwork, and the project was, if you could open a restaurant, where would you open it? What would you call it? What would the menu be?
Yeah.
And we had to do a storyboard and the whole 9 yards. And I did it, and it almost gave me chills because before I knew where I was going to be in the restaurant business, what I was going to be doing in the restaurant business, the storyboard said I'm going to open a restaurant on the waterfront off of Niagara Street. It's going to be Italian.
Yeah.
And I was going to name it something else. It's called the Song of Sicily. It's called La Baronessa. And it obviously didn't go that way, but I named it Marco's, and that was the only variation of the storyboard. And that was years before I opened the restaurant.
Wow.
Yeah, I think
That's
it was
kinda
destiny,
crazy.
man. It was really it was in my blood to do this.
Yeah. I mean, so when you opened this, like, what recipes were you bringing in? Were these like kind of like family traditional recipes that you had to start it, or were you kind of?
Yes and no. I mean, I'm going to say mostly no. I learned most of my stuff on the job and playing. I love to play. I mean, that's just you do it until you get it right. And I think cooking comes from within. If you have it, you have it. You don't. I obviously have it, and I'm not sounding arrogant on that. But
No, hey, I will confirm. We had a fantastic meal at your restaurant last year. It was one of our favorite meals that we had.
Thank you.
And
I appreciate that.
so I can definitely and the veal meatballs that we had it in. I think my wife had about 3 dozen of them.
That's awesome. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
But that's how I just like to experiment. I like to play. I come up with these things that I like to eat.
Yeah.
I don't like to eat garbage, so all my products are good stuff, and I don't. That's just kind of how I've done it. That's just it.
Nice. What was it about Niagara that's where you wanted to open up a restaurant?
Well, I know people go, "What the heck are you doing?"
Well,
over
I
here?"
mean, because your restaurant is kind of it's on its own. Like you drive down, and it's right there.
It's the destination.
Yeah,
it is. I know it's tough.
Yeah, and I mean, when we went, I mean, I don't want to stereotype, but you could tell that there was other people who were coming from the burbs and things like that who go out of their way to go to the city to go to your restaurant.
Exactly, and that's how we've had such longevity. It's just it's been a destination. I grew up 9 blocks from the restaurant. So
okay.
Jerome's Fargo Grill was one of the spots that we used to go when we were kids. When I was a kid, and we would go there and eat clams, and we were familiar with Niagara Street. And back in 1988, Niagara Street was the Elmwood of Buffalo. I mean, it was hopping, it was busy.
Yeah.
But if you look back at it now, I mean, it's coming full circle back to where it used to be. We've got rich products. It's Fortune 500 company. It's one of the biggest companies in the world.
I mean, the success that Sun has had, the Burmese restaurant down the street. I mean, they've completely renovated themselves. Gondola is right there.
Gondola's right there. San Acero's been there for 90 years.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of history on Niagara Street, and I think people are realizing that you got to go back to the roots. Niagara Street is the gateway to Buffalo. Yeah, it's a gateway to another country. Yeah, we got Canada. We see Canada from our dining room. That's amazing, man. It's just it's if Harriet Tubman was alive today, she'd be drinking in the bar.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's where her Underground Railroad was, right across the street.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, in any of the years, has there ever been a point where you considered moving the restaurant? I mean, because I feel like some of your clientele probably are from different areas, and I'm sure people would be like, if you open this in Williamsville, man.
Yeah, I've heard that multiple times. It's incredible. I think what happens is my roots are the West Side. I'm known on the West Side, and people know Marco's is on the West Side, which is a great thing to me, and I listen to my guests, what they say, and they say, you should be in Hamburg. You should be in Williamsville. You should be, and I think to myself, well, I'm here and you're here, so why should I go out there? It's kind of, I'm in the middle. I'm drawn from everywhere. Yeah. I'm right off the 190, which I draw from the South Towns. I draw from the North Towns. I get the downtown crowd. I've got city crowd. I think I'm more centrally located than people that think they are centrally located, and it's
well, it's just people who just don't want to drive.
Yeah, or they're afraid of the stereotype of the West Side. And
very true. Yeah,
you know what? More cars are stolen at the Galleria Mall than they are on Niagara Street. That's for sure. You know what I mean?
That's a great point. That's a great point. Yeah, I mean, I really liked that it was in the West Side. Like when we went, that was one of my favorite things. Is it adds a sense of legitimacy too. It does. Because the West Side has such a strong Italian story behind it that oh,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I get more, I get families that come in and say, when I was a kid, I grew up down the street and I used to love coming here, and I love that you're still here. And if you look on Facebook, people are constantly commenting. Just matter of fact, the other day, someone constantly, commented that I picked up a pizza at Marco's and I drove around the West Side where we grew up, and the memories that I relive when I drive around. Yeah. And they went on to say, "Thank you, Marco, for still being there." Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome, man. Yeah. That's just cool.
And the place, I mean, too, it's gorgeous. You've done a really great job on the inside, and
we remodeled since you've been there. So
yes,
we've changed it around.
I think I was
again.
In halfway.
Yeah, you were. I remember.
But no, I mean, it's awesome that we went in there, and I mean, for comparison, we went to San Acero's, and I enjoy how that restaurant looks for a reason.
Yeah, you have to.
I mean, like, we're sitting there and there's like, I can see where there was a bathroom and they just took the walls down but left the bathroom, like the thing. Like, it's in the dining room. Like, that's fantastic. Like, that's so cool. But then I'm also, I appreciate that somebody else is like throwing money into it and making the area better and things like that. And so I think that's really cool.
We've redone that building from top to bottom. So it's,
that's, well, you've been there, what, 25 years?
This is my 25th year.
Nice.
I know.
Are you guys doing anything big for the big 25?
We're talking about it. Yeah, we are. We're talking about it. The unfortunate thing is I'll be in Florida promoting Galbani cheese November 1st, but I think we'll do something mid-October. Yeah. Yeah, I think we'll have a birthday /
nice.
Anniversary party. It'll be a big one.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Very cool. And so when did the delis become a part of your scope of restaurant work?
Truthfully, in all honesty, and people laugh at me when I say this, my thinking is pretty out there sometimes, and I was asked by friends to help them out with their business, and I really don't. I know I can't do it, but I ended up buying the building from them. And when I bought the building, I had no plans, and after I thought about it for a while, I put this plan in my head. I said, what would be cool if we put like some really cool sandwiches and a really cool theme together and kind of just did it as a hobby and let's see where it goes.
Yeah.
Well, it exploded in my face, and I just.
And so, which one was
Hurdle.
the first?
Hurdle and Starin was the first one. 1744 Hurdle was the first spot. And matter of fact, February 1st is going to be 15 years that we've been there.
Wow, you got a lot of milestones.
Yeah, we got a lot of milestones coming up. Pretty soon I'll be 50. No, I can't say that. But it exploded in my face and just kind of took off. And we had lines around the building for years. I mean, literally. Yeah. And just awesome response. And we said, well, this is so cool, we got to expand. And we ended up expanding to Maple Road, and eventually went on Elmwood and Kenmore, which we moved up to Delaware. But this year we've really seen our numbers change, and it's time to move again. It's time to grow. So
that's pretty awesome.
It's a good feeling.
Yeah, I mean, what was it? Was that? I mean, because there's not a lot of delis left in Buffalo. And
no, there isn't.
And so was that what part of the reason that like you wanted to put something that you kind of wish you had yourself, like something
I think so. Yeah, I think it was a fact of putting good quality products rather than getting just a basic 12-inch sub that you get on every street corner in Buffalo. Yeah, I was kind of tired of it and said, let's do something different, man. I want a turkey sandwich with some hot mayonnaise and some roasted peppers and some provolone cheese and we'll call it something cool. Yeah. We'll figure it out. Yeah. And that's where we went. We went from there to the next level. Yeah. And, my menu, if you look at my menu, each and every sandwich tells a story. Yeah. And I think that's what happened with the delis. It just kind of told its own story and went from there.
Yeah. I mean, but how active are you in the like the menu and the operations? I mean, because obviously, like you said, you're at your main restaurant 6 days a week, right?
I'm there every day, but I'm very active in the delis. I'm not physically on location. Yeah, all day, every day. Yeah, but my nephew Nicholas Tolar, who's running Hurdle, is taking a bigger part in the deli operations, the day-to-day operations, and he's going to actually become my right hand, my overall quality control manager, basically, and making sure everything is up to my standards. Yeah. That's the big thing.
Yeah, and R&D too, if you guys have any.
Absolutely, yeah. We work together on that, and we bounce off a lot of ideas, which is great because that's how we fix things. And if there are problems, I have somebody else that I could turn to. Yeah. And the guys that are doing the delis now are doing a fantastic job. Ricky's on Main Street or on Maple Road. Okay. And Joe's over on Delaware, and these guys, they work their butts off. I can't ask for anything else. But my nephew Nick, who's on Hurdle, has just got a great business mind, and I think that's going to help me take it to the next level.
Awesome. I work pretty close to the Maple Road location, and I got my coworkers hooked on the muffaletta.
Oh yeah,
that thing's
ridiculous. It's like a basketball.
it's one of the largest sandwiches I've seen, but it's almost like I I don't even want to call it a sandwich. It's like a huge bun.
Yeah, it's a pizza dough. Is what it is. It's the size of a small pizza. It's crazy.
Yeah. I went on a whim, I think, just one day because I hadn't been to any of your delis, and it was like calling me. And so since then, I've brought all my coworkers. I'm like, you have to order this sandwich. And they're like they have to like pace it out. They're like once a month. Like, whoa. Yeah.
Well, that's a good thing. I use all natural products.
Yeah,
all good stuff. So you're not going to see it that fast.
But they just need it's such a large meal. They need to like pace themselves.
Right. Exactly. It takes you a month to eat it.
Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, I've become a big fan of that.
Thank you.
So when you're thinking about new locations, I mean, kind of everything is in the city and north there, or
right.
like city, North Buffalo, and North Towns. Like, do you have like do you think that the name brand is more essential there, or would you even consider going to the South Towns? Or?
Well, currently we're looking in Orchard Park.
Nice. And that's our hometown there. And Orchard Park needs some...
It needs something. Yeah, it needs something. We're currently looking at Orchard Park. I'm looking at Niagara Falls and downtown Buffalo. So I think I've grown my brand to the point where anywhere I go in Western New York is going to be well received.
Yeah.
I like to look for neighborhoods they're going to wrap their arms around us and take us as their own.
Yeah.
I like to be near schools and hospitals, which are, a built-in clientele.
Oh, yeah.
And that's pretty much, if you look at where we are, that's pretty much where we are. And that's how I like to locate ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I hope it goes to Orchard Park because every time I go back to visit, there's like 2 restaurants, and I'm not a big fan of any of them. So.
Well, thanks.
How did the Come Dine With Me thing get going? I've been watching those lately. So it's you. You're involved with it, and
yes.
Oh God, I'm gonna butcher the other people.
No, it's Russell Salvatore is our host.
Salvatore, yes,
he's the host of the show with Jan Farrington.
Yes,
and myself, Art Christie from Frontier Catering, and Krista Van Wagner from Curly's.
Van Wagner, yes,
who are just absolutely phenomenal people. They're family. They're not just friends and coworkers, but we have a ball. The chemistry with us is just amazing.
Yeah.
What happened was Russ Salvatore and Key Video, who was our production crew.
Yeah.
Sat down and got an idea. They wanted to do a television show, and Russ said, "I like the idea. Let's get a crew together." Well, Mike Fantaschi, who runs Key Video, was talking with Art Christie, and Art said, "Oh, I got the perfect guy you got to talk to is Chef Marco. He's been working with Sorrento. He's been on national TV, and they came and talked to me at the Italian Festival 5 years ago.
Yeah,
4 years ago." And they said, "What do you think, Chef? You interested?" I said, "Absolutely, let's do it." And a lot of times I get a lot of things thrown in my lap, and they say, let's talk about it. But this one came through and followed through, and we're having a ball. We're getting ready to start production on our 4th season, and
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's been growing very well. And it's awesome. We have a great time doing it too.
Yeah, how is the transition? Because I mean, a lot of chefs are chefs so that they stay in the back and they don't necessarily have to talk to anyone else. Like there's that whole idea that like they're the disgruntled guys.
Disgruntled crazy person in the back. I could be that disgruntled crazy person in the back too.
on certain days.
On certain days like tonight, I'm going to go in and it's going to be crazy. No, I'll be good. I like I said before, I like the clientele. I like my clients or guests, I should say, that come into the restaurant and sit down and enjoy the reason they're there.
Yeah.
And they're there, put it to sound arrogant, they're there for me.
Yeah.
I mean, they're there because what I do. And I want to come out and thank them. And I'm going to come out and be disgruntled and mean to them. They're not coming back, So I constantly have a smile on my face. I like what I do.
Yeah.
I love who I work with. And it's a good time all the way around. I guess it's not a job or it's not work. How do they say it? It's not a job if you love it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So that's
you never work a day in your life if you love it or
there
something.
You go.
Something. We're both just butchering this, but yes, that's
okay.
the general idea. But I mean, so like that idea of like being a performer in front of a camera, was that like a natural thing? Like, because, you like to go out and talk to people and stuff. Like, I feel like there would be some type of learning curve with it.
There has been a learning curve. There is a learning curve. Every day that I go in front of that camera is a learning curve.
Yeah.
But I think if you listen to my wife will say he's the biggest ham you'll ever meet. And I absolutely enjoy what I do. I really do. And it's just, it goes back to, not everybody could be on TV. Not everybody can cook.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I have the talent. I could do both.
Yeah.
Again, I'm sounding a little arrogant. But
No.
it's a good reason, and
Yeah.
and that's one of the reasons Sorrento Cheese or Lactalis hired me to be their spokesman. You know, I can do both, and I enjoy it, and I like to get out there and work with people, and especially other chefs. I love working with other chefs. You know, that you bring out their talents, you bring out their personalities, you see what they're doing, and it's fun.
Yeah. How did the Lactalis thing start? How did you get involved with that?
Jessica Ruth, who is the marketing manager at Lactalis,
Okay.
They were looking for a chef to do a national show called Kitchen Spaces,
Okay.
which is
Oh yes, I read about that.
it's been out for a while,
Uh-huh.
and they did a nationwide search. They narrowed it down to like 12 chefs, and they couldn't pinpoint one. And Jessica said, "I can't believe you guys haven't gotten a chef yet." You know, she goes, "I got a great guy you should talk to. He's right on Niagara Street, Chef Marco.
Yeah.
Why don't you see what he's all about?" And
Yeah.
they came in and interviewed me on a Tuesday, and they hired me on a Thursday, and I left the next week to start filming. And
Wow.
it was pretty quick and cool. I mean, it was just something like, wow, I'm going to be on TV. This is neat, you know? So
Yeah.
I did 3 national shows for them, and
That's awesome.
yeah, it's pretty cool. Getting calls from California and Arizona and Florida and saying, "Hey, I saw you on TV." That's a neat feeling.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, as part of your role, so you've mentioned a couple times that you're going down to on tour. So what is going on tour mean? I have like this.
I'm on the cheese stick tour.
I can't even imagine what that entails.
I just invented that saying, so that's a good thing. I do the public relations and branding for the Italian festivals that they sponsor. One is in Jupiter, Florida, called the Feast of Little Italy.
Okay.
And I go down to Feast of Little Italy, and I do cooking demonstrations. I do a cheese building contest. I do the branding. I do their TV shows, the radio shows, whatever they ask me to do. I'm there for them. And Jimmy Kimmel, who's in Hollywood, put together a festival called the Feast of San Gennaro in his backyard, basically behind his studio.
Wow.
And I go down there and I work with Mr. Kimmel and his crew. And
that's very cool.
That's a pretty neat gig to do. And I work with a great group of people down there. One is my chef that I work with down there, who's my assistant, basically was Frank Sinatra's personal chef, Frankie Campitelli. I mean,
wow.
He owns Frankie's on Melrose, and he's just got a bunch of cool stories. And we work with a lot of celebrities, and
that's
we get
really
to go to the
cool.
Jimmy Kimmel show. And you know, my one thing before I retire from that gig is to get on the Jimmy Kimmel show and cook. But you know, we'll see where it goes.
That'd be pretty big.
That'd be huge. That'd be enormous.
Well, that sounds like a really like fun type of thing to do. I mean, is it nice to get away from the restaurant for a little bit? Or
it is, and you have to, because you get stale. And once you get away, it puts you in a different light. You kind of see what other people are doing out there. You get to go to other restaurants, other areas that aren't Buffalo, I should say. You know, Buffalo's great. I love Buffalo. It's my hometown. But you get to go to these other areas and see what they're up to culinary wise, and saying, "Gee, I think I could do that." And I've brought a lot of stuff back to Buffalo, and a lot of my dishes are focused on stuff that I have brought back from the areas. You know, so absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's super important. Like even as we've gotten more into food in the area, we really also enjoy traveling to see what else is out there.
Absolutely.
I mean, I love I love Buffalo as well, and I think we have an amazing food scene here for considering the size of our city and everything like that.
Right.
But there still are things out there that I think people like.
No doubt. I mean, you know, I go from Buffalo to California. California is probably, they set the standard on a lot of high end and really cool restaurants.
Yeah.
The talent in Buffalo can rival the best. I mean, we got some great chefs here. Great chefs, great restaurants. I mean, there's no doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Yeah. I mean, so the Italian restaurant scene in Buffalo is it's pretty big. Like, there's a lot of like red sauce joints. I'm saying with quotes.
Oh yeah, I got that. Yeah.
Is it kind of like a big community, like, or is there like healthy competition? Like, how does that work with?
I think I'm a different breed. I don't look at anybody as competition. Yeah. We're all in this together. Mm-hmm. If somebody said to me, "Mark, where do you go for dinner?" I have no problem saying I go to Sinatra's, I go to Hutch's, I go to Tempo, I go to Lombardo's, I go to wherever. I have no problem saying that.
Yeah, you don't mind saying that somebody else also makes very good food.
Right, absolutely. I'm not the only guy in town, and I get it, and I got no problem saying, go see, Orazio at Orazio's restaurant. Go see, Tom Payne. Go see, those, Krista Van Wagner. Go to those restaurants. It's great. Because you can't eat Marco's. I mean, you can eat Marco's 7 days a week. But
you're not going to stop.
I'm not going to stop you. But at the same time, you're not going to do that. And
you're
going to go out and you're going to try the other restaurants. And I want to know about it, too, because I want to try them, too. I mean, there's no question in my mind. C-Bar is one of my favorites. I mean, that's it's not a secret.
No,
It's a good thing.
It's an awesome restaurant.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, because, we've had other chefs on here, and I think the general census was that everyone just wants to raise the game of buffalo in general.
Right.
So if it means talking to other people and being like, yeah, I tried this and it didn't sell and things like that.
Yeah.
It seems like the mood has changed. Well, and I mean, I've only been aware of it for 4 years now, but from what I've heard, it seems like there's...
I think it has. I think you're right.
Yeah.
Before it used to be not taboo, but you kind of, why do you go there? Other restaurateurs. Or, it's... I don't know. I'm not afraid to go into anybody's restaurant. It's just, I think we all, like I said before, we're all in this together. Mm-hmm. We all can't sell spaghetti and meatballs. We all got to sell something else.
Yeah.
And I think we all try to lift it up. I mean, with the great events that are going on with Nickel City Chef and with what Krista's doing, Krista what she's doing, and Mike Andruszewski and these guys, they try to keep a community together. That's we're not a huge community if you really think about it. If you go to New York City or Boston or California, we're a small group of people. We're all trying to be successful, and I think these guys are keeping it together and making it as one. If I need something, if I need somebody to come and do a demo at the festival, I got no problem calling 100 different chefs in Buffalo and saying, hey man, I need you to come up on stage and cook with me.
Yeah.
That's a great feeling.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that you can have that relationship.
No doubt.
You mentioned Nickel City Chef, which you did compete on.
I did.
Was it against Krista Van Wagner?
Yeah, Krista.
So I didn't look at the score. I forgot. How was that experience?
Well, I came in second.
Okay. That's a very good way to say
and
it.
I love Krista.
Yeah.
And I know I'm going to tell her to listen to this too. She's a phenomenal world-class chef, and her husband is absolutely amazing sous chef. And going in against them was just one of the highlights of my career. Yeah. I didn't care if I won, if I lost. I didn't care if I didn't even get a point because I was so excited to be there and participate in this fun, this fun get together. And
they are some of the most fun I've ever had.
They are
to any type of event that dealt with food.
No doubt.
It's such a rush to watch those things.
And being a chef, you're an adrenaline freak.
Yeah.
And that is an adrenaline rush and a half.
Yeah. Did you prepare yourself for the event somehow? Or?
Not really.
Yeah.
I don't think I did. I think I kind of, when I sat down with Krista and I actually talked to Mike Andruszewski and I go, what am I going to do? What's, why did you guys ask me? I'm Marco on Niagara Street. I'm not. But then I step back. I go, well, of course they should ask me. I'm Marco on Niagara Street, But Mike gave me some great advice. He said, keep it real. Uh-huh. Stay inside your comfort zone. Stay inside your box, and keep it traditional. And just leave it at that. And I did.
Yeah.
I made what I thought our food came out great.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the judges, I think, agreed.
Yeah. I mean, we had one of the highest totaling second placers in the history, so it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing.
It's a pretty cool event.
It's a great event. Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. We have, I think we have Michael Barca coming in Monday, and he's competing this year on that.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. So
he's the one from
Lombardo's.
Yeah. He's a great chef, talented.
Yeah. But yeah, it was cool. I was watching your the videos and everything to prepare to talk to you and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm a little out there sometimes.
Yeah. I guess we can wrap it up. I mean, you said you have some pretty big plans. You want to open up 3 more delis, and you got these big anniversaries coming up and a trip to Florida.
Hollywood.
Yeah, Hollywood. Yeah. I mean, what do you see? What is your I guess goal for the rest of the year and maybe in the future for what you want Marco's and whatnot?
Ultimately, I like to be on the Food Network, but I don't know if that's gonna ever happen. But I think if I just keep doing what I'm doing, and keep the families that I have employed and doing well, I may
For the most part, the restaurant and the deli is pretty family centered, like family oriented.
From my family.
Okay. I didn't know if you meant families.
Families. No, I have families, and I mean the employees I have are phenomenal. I have probably the longest tenured staff in Western New York. I mean the guys I have that work for me are awesome.
Nice.
And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be where I'm at, because you need staff behind you.
Yeah.
But the idea of saying let's close down and do something else just boggles your mind, because in the back of your mind you're always thinking of those people that are depending on you for income and for to get through their life. And I think that's my goal, is to just continue to create jobs, continue to create opportunities for us, and to just grow our name brand and just get it out there and just become the biggest and the best that we can possibly be.
Yeah.
That's my goal.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean,
Nice.
Plain and simple.
Nice. Well, you're doing a great job with it.
Thank you.
And I'm a big fan of the restaurant and the deli. Though I mean, I've only been to the one on Maple, but I'm assuming the other ones are just as delicious. So
Thank you. I'm a big fan of your website and your podcast as well. So
thanks, Mark.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad we could finally figure this out and you come down here. It was a really good
Thanks for
chance to
having
talk.
me. I really appreciate it.